I love when Canon wakes me up super early, like at midnight, to announce incredible things like the R1 flagship camera so I can get up and record videos like this one for you. The FedEx guy is here. FedEx guy is here. Canon has just made a wildly big announcement for the development of the much awaited R1. And as a Canon explorer of light, I'm here to tell you I know absolutely nothing more than you do. You can read it right here. There it is, plop. Development announcements are a big thing for Canon. They usually never do them. Everything that they develop is so under lock and key, including this press release. No one knew it was coming until midnight, and Canon just bam, gave us the good news that the R1 is coming. Let's take a look at what we do know about this development announcement. This is the first flagship in the R mirrorless camera series. Now, a lot of people thought the R3 was the flagship, and I mean, I guess it was until this, but they're really honing in on the R1 being the flagship. We know it's a full frame mirrorless camera, kinda duh, and we know that it's aiming for a 2024 release. Also kinda duh because, well, the Olympics. I imagine just like the R3, they're going to want to give this to a lot of photographers at the biggest global event there is. Especially since if we skip down to the autofocus section, it sounds like autofocus on crack. Subject detection on crack. And let's just break down what it's talking about. Obviously, high speed, high accuracy. The coolest thing that I saw here, this is just me speculating, but it's saying that in a moment during a sports game, it's able to predict what will happen next based on the subject analyzation. They specifically said they'll be able to predict when they perform a certain action, such as shooting a ball. So think about it this way. You're on the quarterback, and the quarterback's kind of here when they go to throw, and all of you sports fans can tell me how wrong I'm doing this, their head moves back and forward, right? That's a predictable action. We know that as humans, and when someone's going to throw the ball, their head moves. So I think the autofocus is also predicting that kind of movement. Oh, I'm looking at somebody holding a ball, they're going to throw the ball. That movement of the head, it already knows ahead of it happening where it's supposed to track, so it's just going to be that much more accurate. That is crazy. They're not saying it's AI. They've always called it deep learning technology, which is what they mentioned here, which the FedEx guy is here. Guys, the FedEx guy is here. Return label? I don't want to return anything in here. You can't see any of this. That's all. Let's get back to the video. Now let's talk about memory cards. What might the R1 have? Do you think it's going to have 2 CF Express slots? Because that was something people with the R3 photographers were really pissed that it didn't have 2 CF Express slots. Now I was kind of thrilled about that because we all know those cards are kind of expensive. And when a new camera comes out, you really have to get the best card for it, the most advanced, fastest read-write speed. You have to have the best so the camera just performs at its optimal level, which is why I know whether or not that R1 has 2 CF Express or 1 CF Express and 1 SD, that I'm going to be stocking it with today's video sponsor, Lexar. I've been using Lexar cards since Compact Flash back in the day. I have it. Excuse me, Gene. Move over, Gene. There it is. Lexar professional cards I've been trusting since God knows when. Oh, babe, this has your name on the back of it. You probably stole it from me, but I've been using Lexar cards forever, so I know any new camera that comes out, I want to make sure it's performing at its optimal level. And on top of it, I'm going to be downloading those cards probably to an SSD drive like the Lexar SL600 or the Lexar SL500, which is a little bit bigger and better. Now, this one is a 2 terabyte drive. It's actually what I recently just downloaded some of my images on to go edit on the road. I'm constantly on the road. I did 120 days last year. So having really good, stable drives that are large and SSD drives I can work right off of whether I'm on a plane or sitting down waiting for my plane or whatever it is. It's really important to me that they're reliable. Now, every time I hold it, it feels like I can't believe this is an SSD drive that's 2 terabytes and then the 500 being 4. You can take a look at both of these SSD drives below so that you can see what's available at the time you watch this video. But now back to the R1. What are some of the other things that we can think about with this development announcement? It talks about including sports, news reporting, and video production. We have to talk about that for a second because they did not tell us how many megapixels this camera has. And I know that's a thing, especially with the R3 that's 24 megapixels. And a lot of people are like, well, I want larger. You wouldn't think of the R1 as being a video-centric camera like most people don't think about the R3 being a video-centric camera. However, we're filming this video right now with the R3 because my husband really prefers shooting with the R3 over the 5D, right? Isn't that what we said? R5, not 5D. Bruh. Why do you like the R3 more than the R5?
It's sharper.
It's sharper.
It's a smaller sensor.
And then here we go. Because it's a smaller sensor, it's sharper. It also looks better in low light. Some things that a lot of sports and news really appreciate. And what I've appreciated when I shot with the R3 in low light. So the R1, maybe it'll have those same things. Maybe it'll have even enhanced light performance. Let me just read what it says. Newly developed image processor Digic accelerator in addition to the pre-existing Digic X processor. So that is 2 processors though, right? That's 2 processors. And it flat out says that the new imaging processing system with these processors, in addition to the new CMOS sensor, we're getting a new CMOS sensor. This enables large amounts of data to be processed at high speed and deliver never before seen advancement in autofocus functions, which we already talked about. I'm gonna be really honest with you. I have no idea why there would be 2 processors in here. There's a lot of reasons, I suppose. Tell me in the comments why you think there's gonna be 2 processors in this camera. One could be, well, we need that processor to have global shutter. Maybe it will have global shutter, or maybe it'll just be so screamingly fast that it needs that in order to process the images that quickly. In addition, maybe the video will be off the hook. Maybe it'll be even better than what the R3 and the R5 have combined, and you just need more of that processing power. Now, with all of that processing power, what's the problem? Overheating. From the picture that they showed us, you certainly can't tell whether there is a fan in this camera that's going to prevent overheating or extend the time that we can shoot at its highest capability on the video side without overheating. No clue. There's definitely a lot of speculation. There could be global shutter or there could not be. And with 2 processors, can it handle it? I mean, does that like lead to thinking there is going to be global shutter because there's 2 processors in there? Because you certainly need more processing power if you're having global shutter. Is global shutter even ready? I have seen just a few little things, and granted, I am biased being a Canon user and surrounding myself with only Canon friends. That is a lie. But I have seen some things with the new Sony camera, whose name I don't even know, that has the global shutter with people not really being thrilled about it. And not being thrilled about the price point, especially for Sony. That price point was pretty big. Canon already has the R3 at a pretty high price point, so I'm not sure how much higher they can go with the R1. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Where do you think price-wise, especially considering that new Sony flagship camera and the R3, where do you think the R1 is going to come in? I apologize for the mess, by the way. I am currently packing for engagement shoots and weddings and a ton of stuff I have to do in the New York and New Jersey area. And like I said, this development announcement just smacked us all in the face. So I'm just trying to give you some information, some perspective, having been a Canon shooter for so long and a Canon Explorer of Light and knowing just a little bit about how Canon works. In the R3 development announcement, which I have here and I'm looking over, just trying to compare these 2 development announcements. I mean, we knew about the eye control function, which we can't imagine they would take it out of the R1. Thankfully, Canon did release a picture of the R1. It looks pretty meaty. I didn't expect anything less, especially with the R3. I mean, when we look at their flagships over the years, I've always been a proud owner of the 1DX series. I've loved that vertical grip built right into the camera the way the 1DX series had, the 1D Mark IV, the R3, and then now the R1, we can see it's right there. They're of course not showing us any of those side ports that we want in there. Well, the R3 has a micro HDMI. Do you think the R1 is going to have a standard or stick with the micro? I mean, do we want everything to be smaller, or is bigger better when it comes to HDMI? What would be best video-wise?
it's standard.
Standard, why?
It's a more secure connection.
It's a more secure connection. I don't know everything about everything, guys. I just surround myself with intelligent people. All right, that's it. That's what I got for you. I know it's the same information that you saw Canon announce at midnight, but I wanted to give you my perspective on it, tell you what I do know, and take a look at the R3 and some of the past flagship cameras that Canon has released and also announced in the past. And I hope I'm not gonna get in trouble for having an opinion and thoughts, or I don't know. I think that's not against my contract. I'm allowed to have some thoughts. I just can't release anything that's not already released to you, which is good because I really don't know anything past what they released to you. Anyway, let me know your thoughts about this development announcement. Vent it out in those comments. We'll get into it together. No, we won't. I'll probably ignore all the comments. No, I'll probably comment. You will probably rope me into some kind of Canon fangirl discussion in the comments. I'm here for it. I gotta get back to packing. I'm just telling you what I think, what I know, what I've seen in the past, making some correlations, and I wanna have a discussion with you in the comments about it. So go ahead, do that. If you're new here, please stick around. I like having you around, and I'll see you next time. I really gotta start packing. We don't have time. We're done. And I gotta finish unwrapping.
This is your invitation to my exclusive community, Photo Insiders. I've been teaching on YouTube and at photo conferences all over the world for over a decade. But here in Photo Insiders, you'll have exclusive content that you will not see anywhere else. Photo Insiders gives you exclusive access to me, the community, conversations, and new educational videos every single month. Standard, I'm gonna go down to color tone. We're gonna do off-camera flash, and we're gonna do it with both 1 and 2 lights. Never feel lost or frustrated behind the camera again, but instead confidently create the images that you envision every single time. It's broad daylight right now, but I'm gonna show you how to turn it into nighttime. Light for photos of groups outside. Negative fill. Learn alongside fellow photographers to master concepts like posing, off-camera flash, continuous lighting, and a mix of all of them. Get ready for monthly videos that help you learn both in detailed explanations and short-form videos that will take you less than half the time. High-speed sync allows you to raise your Watch how I troubleshoot my way out of situations. Did that flash? See my camera settings and see my images raw as they come out of the camera. I'm not just gonna throw a bunch of videos at you and leave you stranded with them. Photo Insiders get access to my exclusive online community where you can ask questions and get those questions answered in live group coaching sessions. But you'll also have access to my on-location shoots in a behind-the-scenes style. Inside the community, you can also talk shop about photography topics like we all like to do and collaborate with other photographers so you can not only elevate your craft together, but boost your marketing and overall business too. You'll have access to all of my bonus materials, things like contracts and my email templates that are sure to put money in the bank. I've been a working photographer for over 2 decades. I started on film, went to digital, and now we're on mirrorless, and who knows what's next. But it doesn't matter what gear that you have, I'm teaching you photography, lighting, posing concepts that you can use no matter what you're shooting with. This is just fun stuff. I wish I had something like this 20 years ago when I first started learning photography. I look forward to connecting with you directly through our live coaching sessions. I want to hear the problems that you're having. That's what I'm there for, to talk to you and walk you through all of that so you really understand it and can put it into practice in real situations. The value is unprecedented. You will not find my resources, education, and direct access to me and the community of Photo Insiders anywhere else. This is gonna mean something in your photography life. This will be the next best thing that you do. This is your exclusive invitation. Become a Photo Insider now so you don't miss a thing. I'll see you there.